How long have you had your Petits?
So it's been a little bit over a year now.
And tell us your experience so far.
So far after a year, I've been very happy with it. It's been a game changer in my industry. Even if I have a tunnel in my site, it's totally, my numbers are totally different than last year.
You mentioned you've been in it a long time, your comparison to other machines you've owned.
So I've been in it for 20 years. I mean, I've had many touchless car washes from PDQ to the DNS 5000s. Nothing compared. I mean, I don't have to worry about maintenance at night anymore. I don't have to worry. Actually, the machine texts me at night when it has issues, which very rarely happens. It's been a very game-changing experience.
How's your experience been with the company so far?
The tech support so far I've had has been phenomenal. I call up. I usually get Tom, actually, to be honest with you, which is amazing compared to a lot of other companies. You know, I can actually talk to Tom or talk to everybody in the office. There is very knowledgeable. And any parts or anything I ever needed shipped out the next day. You know, there's
Awesome.
no issues at all.
Now you mentioned you have a tunnel, you have a conveyorized tunnel on site, and we have some customers that ask questions regarding that. So any input with having a tunnel on site and this, just give us any input you have.
I sweated many nights thinking about doing the project of putting a touchless car wash on the same site as my tunnel, figuring that one's going to overpower the other. And tell you what, it's been almost 50-50. It just depends on how the customer, how they want their vehicle washed for the day.
Okay.
I haven't lost any revenue. My revenue's increased. My membership has increased.
Okay.
I would do it again in a heartbeat. And anybody else that is looking to get it done, I'd recommend to do it. But it is a good option for my customers because some customers can't make it here after work.
Okay.
To the tunnel that I have my membership with, and now the Petit's open 24 hours for them. So they kind of pick and choose which model they want to go with. But the community loves it. Everybody has used it, and I've finally heard great things so far. So I liked it so much. I told you I bought another one already. It's up in my other site in Pennsburg right now. We're installing one. And,
Fantastic.
And then next year we're looking at putting in the one in the tunnel to actually help out.
And your numbers are great right now for just opening this up.
Yes, I mean after 1 year, we have a small town here in Pennsylvania. After 1 year, and that was with no winter. We had no snow, we had nothing. So it was a really horrible year, but I had great numbers showing good progress then.
Yeah, it was a terrible year for this past. For those watching, no matter what year you're watching this, our past first quarter of this year was terrible from everybody from Kansas City to the East Coast. We had no salt, no wind. It was just rain, and it was just bad.
We had a great pollen season this year, which I'm ready for winter after I saw that pollen season, and the Petit handled it without any issues. Usually my other touchless car washes I've had installed, I'm constantly up there resetting machines, doing items, and I sat at my desk and was just laughing because I loved it. It was just washing cars all day.
Great to hear. Well, any other input about Petit or?
No, I mean, I can't wait to get my other site up and running and see what this thing does in the wintertime. But after 1 year, I mean, the machine basically paid for itself after 1 year in revenue.
So great to hear.
So I've never done it with any other touchless car washes I've used.
Fantastic. So we went off camera and started talking about parts and replacing parts. Explain like your experience with other companies, how they make a proprietary just to make sure you have to buy through them, and how the Petit is pretty much.
Correct. So one issue I had in the past, like using, for example, a PDQ. Unfortunately, every time I needed a part, I couldn't run to a hardware store. I couldn't run to Home Depot. They had some kind of little
something to make it impossible to use.
Correct. You know, so at least with Petit, I can actually run to a hardware store and fix the unit itself. It's very easy to wrench on. I don't have to take 10 covers off to access a part. I can actually get to it in a matter of seconds. It's trying to figure out if there's any issues to the machine, or it's a game changer. And I don't have to spend $200 for a little bolt. I can buy a $1 bolt at the hardware store now and get back up and running.
Yes.
That's one of the big deals in the car wash industry. That sold me on the machine.
And that was designed that way from the beginning. So to clarify, we do have proprietary parts in the machine, but only what has to be proprietary. If it is a normal part you can get through Granger or something like that, then we want you going to the hardware store and going through Granger because we want you up and running all the time.
I had some issues during the last pandemic itself where I couldn't get parts. I was trying to run, I could only keep my touchless car washes up and running, and PDQ, other companies I couldn't get a hold of, I needed parts in which I couldn't run my car wash. Now with Petit, if we ever have any future pandemics, I know that I can get hardware and parts and everything that keep my machines running.
Yep,
You know?
absolutely.
So that was one game-changing thing that helped me out, and I think in the future it's going to help me out again.
Now, one thing we did touch on, what have your customers said with their perception from them?
So far the customer's been very happy. You know, you always have the tunnel gurus and you have the touchless gurus. Depends if they're in a car club or if it's mom in the minivan. You know, so it's been a game changer for them because now they have two different options at my site. A lot of the guys and the kids, they all prefer the touchless.
Gotcha.
The car clubs,
I'm the same way.
Stuff like that, they prefer the touchless. This is the first site actually I can actually run dualies in now, which is nice.
Yeah.
So the dually customers, I've seen revenue increase from dually customers, and even the car dealerships. I've gotten a lot more contracts with local car dealerships because it's a touchless unit. You know, on the brand new vehicles.
Yeah, and some of the manufacturers, well, not only brand new, but some of the manufacturers are requiring it at this time. Tesla, I think maybe Volvo, and there's a few others that are starting because the paints. I probably said this in a few other videos, but they're becoming, for environmental reasons, from oil-based paints to water-based. Well, some solvent-based. I apologize. Solvent-based to more water-based paints for environmental reasons, and they're not as robust as they used to be. So they're scuffing a little easier, and they're requiring their owners to go through a touchless.
Correct. I mean, that's a lot of customers. They stop in. They say, I couldn't wait till you got this site open because Tesla says right in the manual, I believe,
that
it's
obvious
they have
in Tesla's
to use.
manual. Yeah.
Correct. So, you know, with all we have a lot of EV charging stations going up around my area, so we are getting a lot more.
We don't have that much
area.
back home, so that's interesting to hear. I never really thought about it because we don't have many back there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been a game changer. I have people driving over 10 miles to come use this site. So it's been very good.
Awesome. Well, if we're thinking of anything else, we'll jump back on camera.
Perfect.
But all right, appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.